Hi, I'm Sue Ann Cordell, and I thank you so much for joining me today for my podcast. I started Shineworthy Lifestyles many years ago for the purpose of helping people learn how to take a positive approach to life. And I've always tried to do that myself, and I know that there are a lot of hard things out there. I know that life isn't always perfect. I have hard times in my life, just like everybody else, but I really try my very best to take a positive approach to life. And I know that we all face hard times, and I'm not here to sugarcoat the darkness or to pretend like life is easy all the time. Everyone has a story, including me. We all have hard things that we're going through, but it all boils down to how we decide to approach the situations that come our way. Even if you're in a good place right now, have you noticed how easy it is to get caught up in the drama of other people's lives? Have you noticed what happens to your mindset and the mood when you allow this to happen? I want to encourage you to consider taking a positive approach to your day by delivering positivity to someone that might need it without expecting anything in return. Some people call this paying it forward. Others call it random acts of kindness. I like to call it delivering positivity. I've got a few personal examples that I'd like to share with you today. One is from several years ago. I went into a cafe here in Nashville, and I went in to get a lunch that I was going to get to go. It was very busy in there that day. There was a woman that came in that obviously was living on the streets and didn't have a whole lot of money, but she came in and she was holding a dollar bill. She went over to the bar section of the restaurant and she said, do I have enough money to get turkey and dressing? I was getting turkey and dressing. It was their featured meal of the day. The server came over to her and said, no, you don't have enough money to get turkey and dressing. So she looked at the menu. She looked back at the server. She held up her dollar again and she said, excuse me. Do I have enough money to get banana pudding? The server took a deep breath, rolled her eyes, and said, no, you don't have enough money to get banana pudding. You just need to go. You don't have enough money for anything on the menu. You just need to go. Well, I was watching this whole scenario and my heart was just breaking. And so I went over to the server and I said, excuse me. And I gave her some money and I said, this is to cover turkey and dressing and banana pudding and anything else that this woman would like to have today. It's on me. I went back over to wait on my meal to come out because I was getting it to go. But I decided to go over and tap the woman on the shoulder. And when I did, she jerked and like, oh, what? And I said, I just wanted to let you know that I just gave her enough money to cover your meal. Order whatever you want today. But make sure that you get the banana pudding because it is so good. She couldn't believe it. She thanked me so much. As I was leaving with my food, she got up and came over and thanked me again. And she said, you just made my day. Thank you so much. I felt so good about that because I was able to do that. I was able to deliver positivity for this woman. I left and I was really feeling blessed that I was able to help her. And I forgot to get her name. So I have named her Izzy. And every once in a while, I think about her and I wonder how she's doing. And I hope other people have also been able to help her along the way. Well, fast forward, this past couple of months ago, my husband and I took a trip to Pensacola. While we were there, we were sitting outside, and a woman came walking up the sidewalk of the beach, from the beach, came walking up towards the hotel, And she had lots of bags with her. And I thought that was rather odd. And we both started talking about that and wondered what was going on. She walked into a restaurant that we just happened to be going to that very day. So we get into the restaurant, and I'm seated at the table, and I look straight over at this other table, and there's the woman that had just been coming up from the beach with all the bags. And I could tell that she was someone who was really struggling. She placed her order with the server, and then she pulled out a phone that was very obviously not working. It was obvious that it was not working at all. She held the phone just like all the other people in the restaurant, trying to fit in, and pretended to be scrolling through the phone. But I could tell it was blank and there was nothing there. Her meal came, and she was enjoying her meal, again pretending to be on the phone the whole time, just like other people in the restaurant. But I told my husband, I said, I can't get this off of my mind. I've got to find out a little bit more of her story. I think she needs some help. So I went over to the server and I said, excuse me, but the woman at the table over there, I noticed that you just took the check over to her. Does she come here often? She said, oh, yeah, she does. At least once a week, sometimes twice a week. I don't know where she's staying. I don't think she's got a home anywhere. But, yeah, she comes in here. And I said, well, I want to cover her meal today. Will you bring me another copy of her check? And she did. She brought it over to me, and I went in, my husband and I paid for it. And I went over to the woman, and I said, excuse me, but your meal is covered. Now, before this, what was happening was I was looking over there, and she had received the check, but she was trying to figure out how to pay for it. And she wasn't planning to leave without paying. She pulled out her out of her pocket a little change purse, and she began pulling out money, wadded up dollars, quarters, nickels, dimes, trying to come up with enough money to pay for that meal. So I said to her, I said, I just wanted to let you know that your meal has been paid for today. You can put your money back in your pocket. She was like, what? Well, I need to let them know that it's paid for. I can't leave without paying for it. I want them to know that. I said, oh, of course. And I said, I've already talked to them about it, but if you want to call the server over and let her know. And she did, and she told her that I had paid for it. And the server said, yes, that's fine. We know that it's been covered. And she put her money back in her pocket, and she took all those bags that she was carrying and left the restaurant. But before she left, she said to me, what is your name? And I said, my name is Sue Ann, but that was a gift from Jesus. I've wanted to bless you because I've been blessed, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Well, several years before that, way back, I can remember a time when my husband and I were really struggling financially, and we were at a Christmas party. Our daughter was very young at the time, and there was a Santa Claus there. She climbs up into Santa's lap to tell him about something that she wanted, and this is so far back in the day that what she had asked for was a VCR player. Now, some of you may not even know what that is, but it is a machine that you used to put these video cassettes in to play movies. And she asked for one, and they weren't cheap. And my husband and I were on a very tight budget at the time. And she goes and climbs up on Santa's lap, and he says, ho, 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 what would you like for Christmas this year? She says, I want a VCR player. And we looked at each other like, oh, wow, there is no way we can afford to get this. What are we going to do? Someone at the party, we still to this day don't know who it was, somebody. I get a little choked up when I think about it. Somebody at that party overheard what she asked for, obviously saw the look on our faces, Because a couple of days later, my husband gets in the car to come home from work, and in the back seat of his car is a box. It's a VCR player, and it says, "To Heather from Santa." Oh, I'll never forget that feeling. It made us feel really good. Can you imagine how it made the other person feel that helped us out? Delivering positivity is such a great thing. You know, when you stop and look around, life really is amazing. There really are a lot of good people in the world, and I truly believe that you are one of them. So one of the best ways to feel good about yourself is to help others feel good about themselves. I have so many stories that I could share like that of people that have been there for us through the years when we least expected it, when people have come to me and paid a compliment at a time when I needed the most. Well, here are some ideas that I would like for you to consider today for ways that you can deliver positivity to others. What about leaving a server the biggest tip you can afford the next time you go out to eat? How about running an errand for a family member that is just so busy that they're feeling so overwhelmed, and a simple gesture of getting with them and saying, "Why don't you let me take care of that errand for you today?" How about sending a text to someone just to encourage them? Someone that you know is going through a hard time. Just a simple text to let them know you care. How about buying coffee or tea for the person behind you in line the next time you have the opportunity to do that? How about picking a random table at a restaurant and paying for their meal? I want to share one other thing with going along with that. I was having a really, really stressful day at work and decided to slip off and just treat myself to a nice lunch one day at a nice little restaurant. And I went in and I sat down, and I guess I must have looked pretty stressed, but I sat down and the server came over and took my order. And in just a few minutes, he came back over with a beautiful key lime pie that had a beautiful dessert, like a decorated dessert on top of the key lime pie. So it was like a double-decker dessert. And he said, "I wanted to give this to you. We have a special thing going on here in our restaurant right now where people can actually buy desserts for other people at the restaurant just to say, thinking about you, hope you're having a great day, I appreciate you," or just to make them feel better. And someone here in the restaurant has anonymously bought this dessert and asked me to bring it to your table. I was like, wow. I had no idea that anybody would even notice that I had come into the restaurant. But somebody that day saw that I needed some encouragement. So after I had my meal and I was paying the server, I just said to him, I said, "Okay, I know you're not supposed to tell me who brought this dessert to me. I will tell you, it really made my day. It made me feel so good. Do you mind telling me who it was?" He said, "I can tell you now because they're leaving the restaurant and I can show you. It's the woman. See the woman that's walking across the parking lot right there? She's the one that did that for you." I said, "Wow, thank you so much for letting me know that." Well, a couple of weeks later, I decided to go to that same restaurant again, but this time I looked for somebody that I could treat with that dessert. It was such a good feeling. Another thing you might want to think about is slipping some money into a diaper box at the grocery store. You know, they have those little slits in the diaper boxes. They're so expensive these days, aren't they? And a lot of times couples that have diapers, that are having to buy diapers, are really struggling financially. What if you just slipped, say, a $10 or $20 bill into the diaper box and just walked away? You don't know who's going to get it, but I'm guessing it would be somebody that really needed it. They open up the diaper box, there's this cash that they weren't expecting. And you can have such a wonderful feeling of knowing that that was done. What about just leaving a gift card or handing a gift card to somebody at a gas tank right now? Because my goodness, I mean, at a gas station when they're filling up their tank, why not just give them a gift card and say, hope this helps you out? Because gas is super expensive right now. Or you're at the grocery store and someone has lots of children and their cart is just filled with groceries. They're going out to their car. They're putting it in the trunk of the car. Got to get all the kids into the car. Why not just return the shopping cart for them at the grocery store? Little things like that can really make a difference. Look for opportunities to give compliments. It costs nothing, takes no time, and could make someone's entire day. Instead of just thinking about it, why not say it? I love this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. This is what it says. It is one of the most beautiful compensations of the life that no one can sincerely help another without helping themselves. Let me read that one more time. It is one of the most beautiful compensations of life that no one can sincerely help another without helping themselves. I can attest to this. I love it when I'm able to help others, but oh my goodness, it means so much to me when others help me too. Here's the thought for the day and for the week that I hope you can carry with you. If you want to get the most out of life, put the needs of others on the list of things to do. When you bring light into the darkness through deeds of kindness, they will not be forgotten. What goes around comes around. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.